Unlocking the hidden strategies of the soul to transform power dynamics. I never expected a single dream to change everything. One night, as I slept, a whisper from the universe danced into my consciousness. It was vibrant and electric, a surge of energy that teased my senses. I felt it in my bones. It was a sign, a calling. In the dim light of early morning, I sat on the edge of my bed, heart pounding. What if I wasn't destined for the mundane? What if there was more? Anxiety twisted inside me, sparking fear like a match striking against a hard surface. I sought answers, but all I felt was the weight of uncertainty pressing against my chest. Nature outside my window seemed alive, bursting with hidden meanings. The golden light filtered through the leaves, dancing like tiny spirits. I closed my eyes, trying to meditate, but thoughts bounced around like a pinball machine. Suddenly, an image flashed before me, a figure cloaked in shadows, their face obscured. A message hovered in the air, pulsing with life. Was it a warning, or was it inviting me deeper? Questions swarmed my mind. What did it mean to unlock these secrets? How would I even begin? Each whisper of the wind breathed urgency into my quest. I walked through the park later that day, surrounded by strangers. The chattering voices flowed around me, each one a reminder of lives intertwined yet isolated. Their laughter and whispers mingled with a deeper silence that echoed within me, a silence yearning to be filled. A child pointed at something in the sky, eyes wide with wonder. I followed her gauzy flicker of light turning into a fleeting rainbow. My heart raced. Was it a sign? Or simply a trick of the light? As the vibrant colors melted into the lingering gray of the clouds, my stomach dropped. Every moment felt like a thin thread, weaving my fate tighter and tighter. I needed answers, but the more questions I asked, the less clarity I found. Who was that shadowy figure in my vision? Were my dreams merely reflections of my deepest fears? Or were they the keys to something far greater? The answers felt tantalizingly close yet impossibly distant, like the horizon just out of reach. As they turned to dusk, I stood in the silvery glow of twilight. My heart raced as I sensed a shift, a vibration beneath the surface. In the stillness, a question lingered. What if the real transformation wasn't just in power dynamics, but a radical awakening of my soul? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The dawn arrived with a gentle heaviness, each beam of sunlight whispering secrets as they crept into my room. I felt the anticipation of the new day coursing through me, vibrating with the echoes of yesterday's questions. What lay beyond the veil of shadows? Who was waiting to be revealed? I decided to take a different path during my morning walk, one that led me towards a nearby grove known for its ancient trees. Each step I took felt purposeful, as though the earth itself was guiding my journey. The tall trees stood like wise sentinels, their gnarled branches reaching out as if to embrace me. I placed my hands on a weathered trunk, feeling the pulse of life beneath the rough bark, a heartbeat that resonated with my own. As I wandered deeper into the grove, I discovered a clearing. In its center was a small stone altar, moss-covered and adorned with forgotten offerings, a token from those who had come seeking solace or answers. An overwhelming urge came over me to sit there, to immerse myself in the energy that poured in the sacred space. I closed my eyes and inhaled deeply. The scent of damp earth mingled with the aromatic hint of wildflowers, wrapping me in a cocoon of tranquility. With every breath, I felt the fears that had held me captive begin to loosen their grip. I sought connection, calling upon the universe like an echo searching for its source, hoping for a sign. Moments stretched into what felt like eternity, and suddenly, a rustling in the underbrush drew my attention. My eyes flew open, and there stood a fox, its amber eyes shimmering with the wisdom of the wild. Time seemed to pause as our gazes locked. There was a knowing, a shared understanding flowing between us. It was as if the fox could see the layers of my soul, the doubts, the aspirations, the shadows, and in that moment, I felt both vulnerable and empowered. As the creature turned and padded gracefully away, I noticed something glinting under a nearby tree, a small crystal. Leaning down to pick it up, I marveled at how the sunlight danced within its facets, illuminating the intricate patterns inside. It felt warm against my palm, grounding yet imbued with a vibrant energy. I held it close, feeling the pulse of potential coursing through its core. Returning home, I arranged the crystal on my desk, placing it prominently in my line of sight, a reminder of that sacred grove and the fleeting encounter with the fox. Instinctively, I began to document my thoughts, capturing the essence of that day. The act of writing became a ritual, words flowing like a river, weaving the fabric of my questions with threads of insight and awakening. What if the shadows weren't something to fear, but instead a guide illuminating my path? I wondered. With every line I penned, clarity started to bloom like wildflowers on the edges of my consciousness. The more I embraced the mysteries, the more vibrant my vision of the world became. Days passed, and I continued to visit the grove, each time uncovering new layers of awareness. One afternoon, while lost in meditation, I caught sight of a small, iridescent feather drifting lazily down from the canopy above. It landed softly next to me. Its appearance felt deliberate, and instinctively, I picked it up, the delicate cool sending a ripple of understanding through me. To what extent do our connections, whether with nature, spirit guides, or the universe at large, shape our journeys? I reflected on the significance of these signs, each one a stepping stone towards deeper revelations. As the feather nestled in my palm, I felt an urge to share my journey, to express the unfolding story of transformation that was taking shape within me. What awaited me on this spiritual exploration? The question lingered like morning mist, tantalizingly evasive yet filled with promise. How much further could I venture into the depths of my soul, blending the seen and the unseen, before the ultimate truth emerged? The rhythm of my daily visits to the grove became a sacred routine, each moment harmonizing with an unspoken rhythm that resonated both within me and in the tapestry of nature surrounding me. With each visit, the grove revealed layers of wonder, and the dance of elements continued to unfold deeper dimensions of my quest. One twilight evening, I arrived at the grove under a sky drenched in shades of purple and gold. The air hung heavy with expectation as I made my way to the stone altar. This time, the heartbeat of the earth felt different, a stronger pulse, as if the very ground were prophesying another encounter. I settled down, heart open, breath steady, aware that every thought and intention cast upon the breeze could return transformed. As I sat in the growing dusk, I closed my eyes, surrendering to the enveloping shadow. Soon, an ethereal whisper lapped against my consciousness, spilling thoughts like silver droplets. Seek the flicker, it seemed to suggest, a gentle urgency woven into the echoes of twilight. I opened my eyes, driven by an insatiable curiosity. The branches overhead swayed in gentle breezes, creating a luminescent tableau of light and shadow. That's when I noticed an unusual flicker, not far from where I was seated. It was a wisp of brightness, fluttering among the leaves as if beckoning me to follow. Intrigued, I rose and began to walk slowly toward it, each step laden with anticipation. The flicker led me deeper into the grove, weaving in and out among the trunks, until I found myself standing before a small pond, hidden beneath a canopy of intertwining branches. The water glimmered like liquid glass, mirroring the shifting colors of the sky. Awed by its beauty, I felt a pulse of energy radiating from it, a beckoning call wrapped in silence. As I gazed into its depths, something extraordinary occurred. My reflection began to shift, pixels of light breaking apart and forming rippling images of faces, places, and memories long buried beneath the layers of my life. Each visage stirred within me a unique emotion, a repressed fragment of my journey clamoring for acknowledgement. A familiar face emerged, my younger self, eyes brimming with wonder and possibility, standing in stark contrast to the fears I had harbored since adulthood. Why did you stop believing? My younger self seemed to ask, the sorrow evident in the depth of that youthful gaze. Heart quickening, I grappled with the intensity of memories washed up from my soul. The truths I had buried, dreams once vibrant, now shadowed by doubt, surfaced with a potency that felt transformative. What if, in unlocking my past, I could unravel the threads that knit my current self? I pondered. A desire ignited within me to mend the fractures between who I had been and who I could become. Perhaps it was time to embrace my history with compassion, to honor the fears that had once shaped me yet learn to navigate beyond them. As I leaned closer to the pond, the water began to whisper secrets, gliding over its surface. Tall grasses bowed down beside the water's edge, their movements synchronized in a dance of reverence. Suddenly, I recalled the feathered iridescent coal nestled at home, a symbol of my capacity to rise above my challenges. Its brilliance reappeared vividly in my mind, a reminder that within each struggle lay an opportunity for flight. I knelt by the water, submerging my fingers into the cool depths, allowing its memory to wash over me. What flickers within the shadows? I mused, the question forming a soft echo amidst the sounds of crickets and rustling leaves. It was a longing not only to understand but to illuminate the hidden dynamics of my soul, to embrace the totality of my journey, past, present, and future. Just then, I noticed another flicker, a tiny dancing light emerging from the water surface. It flickered brightly, capturing my attention once more. It felt like an affirmation, a sign that transformation was not only possible but already beginning. Yet, the uncertainty loomed large. How could I navigate through this intertwining of past and present? Without losing the essence of who I was destined to be, with my heart fluttering in unison with the pulse of the universe, I returned to the grove's edge, taking with me the whispers of the water and the flickering light. My journey had deepened further, but the questions became more profound, swirling like leaves caught in a gust of wind. How can the past illuminate our future even amid shadows? Do we truly have the power to transform the narratives of our soul? And as I pondered all this, the sense of wonder awakened within me. New revelations awaited in the shadows yet untouched. As I stood at the grove's edge, I felt the night's embrace tightening like a cloak around my shoulders. The echoes of my younger self lingered, the weight of those unspoken words sinking into the crevices of my being. Each heartbeat aligned with the pulse of the earth, urging me to venture deeper still into the realm of the unseen. Weeks morphed into a dance of discovery as I continued to weave my visits into the very fabric of my existence. The flicker, now a faint but constant guiding star, led my feet along sacred paths, whispering secrets of resilience and transformation with every step. Each evening, I returned to the pond, where the reflections danced as if in choreographed ecstasy, a mirror that shifted yet never truly vanished. What lay beneath the glimmering surface beckoned for engagement, urging me to push beyond what was comfortable. One night, drawn by an uncanny familiarity, I paused before an arch willow. Its branches undulated like gentle waves, creating a veil that shielded the secrets of the grove. This time, as the twilight air thickened with anticipation, I felt an overwhelming wisp of presence breathe life into the space around me, as if the nocturnal world had collectively turned its gaze upon me. The moment was electric, charged with possibilities surging beneath the surface. Gathering courage, I reached out to pat the dripping limbs. The world slipped away, and I found myself in an ephemeral glade, a hidden enclave pulsing with luminescences. More orbs of light floated gently, bobbing and weaving, intertwining on paths unseen. Here, time felt suspended, and the air vibrated with a melody I could scarcely decipher yet instinctively understood. In the center of the glade stood a weathered stone pedestal, worn smooth by ages of reverence. It emanated an ancient wisdom, whispering secrets meant only for those brave enough to approach. I approached, breathless yet grounded, the orb swirling around me in a playful ballet. As I knelt before the pedestal, a sudden chant echoed through my mind, a forgotten lullaby that felt at once known and alien. The pedestal throbbed with an energy that felt like a heartbeat. Lost in the reverie, I closed my eyes, allowing the soothing cadence to transport me to a place beyond thought. My consciousness spiraled outward, and I sensed the gentle kiss of past eras brushing against my skin, layers upon layers of wisdom that the grove had witnessed throughout its existence. Visions unfolded before me, nameless seekers who came before me, faced trials of the spirit, embraced their shadows, and emerged renewed. Here, in the presence of their spirit, their struggle stitched into the very air I breathed, I felt a profound connection to an ancient tapestry. It anchored me, grounding me in the notion that transformation was a collective journey, a sacred tapestry woven from countless threads of humanity. Seek to know, a voice, both tender and age-old, resonated deep within, swirling alongside the chant. To understand the flickers, one must become a witness, allowing the shadows to illuminate rather than conceal. I blinked, and also subtle shift occurring. It dawned on me that the flickering lights around me were not merely companions on this path, they were fragments of possibility, embodiments of dreams yearning to be acknowledged. Each held a power, a potential truth waiting to blossom into my reality. But in order to embrace their gifts, I had to attune my spirit to the deeper questions that stirred in my heart. What flickering dreams had I hidden beneath fear? What narratives had I silenced that begged for recognition and celebration? Each question unfurled crisp and sharp like leaves in autumn, revealing the depth of my unfulfilled desires. My heart raced, an urgency enveloping me, a yearning to quiet the noise of doubt and uncover the hidden symphonies of longing. With resilience rising within, I allowed the bittersweet notes of nostalgia to take root, intertwining with a burgeoning trust in my capacity to reshape my narrative. The flicker of light that had led me here began to pulsate brighter, illuminating the shadows where doubt had once thrived. As I emerged from that glade, the stars twinkling overhead whispered promises yet unfulfilled. What new revelations awaited in this endless quest? How could I honor the past and meld it with future potential? The flickers beckoned still, urging me towards tomorrow, where the dynamic fabric of my soul hung in delicate balance, and amidst the joy of this ancient communion, the ultimate question lingered: how deep could the hidden strategies of my soul reveal the power within me to illuminate the darkness? As hope twinkled in my heart, I found solace in uncertainty, knowing that the journey ahead held infinite treasures yet to unfold. As the moon cast her silvery glow upon the grove, I wandered back towards the pond, a luminous guide in the night. The gentle rustle of leaves above mirrored the quiet introspection within. Each step was a continuation of the sacred dialogue I entered with the flickering lights, the remnants of dreams and stories longing to be told. The tranquility hung thick in the air, yet a curious restlessness brewed in my heart, a desire to delve deeper, to uncover more layers of the mystery enveloping my journey. Tonight, the pond lay still as glass, reflecting not only the cosmos above but the fragments of my own essence swirling within. I knelt at its bank, entranced by the clarity of the water. Would it reveal new truths, or was I merely seeking the familiar echoes of my past? I pondered, tracing my fingers through the cool surface, creating ripples that distorted and distorted again, and in that moment of motion, I felt the weight of connection between past and present, self and universe. Suddenly, the flickering orbs that had danced in the glade reappeared at the water's edge, their shimmering forms beckoning me to lean closer. Each light pulsed as if resonating with secrets tethered to my core. I took a deep breath, allowing the energy surrounding me to guide my thoughts. What had I buried beneath layers of fear and uncertainty? With renewed intent, I whispered into the stillness, leaning into the potential that enfolded me. Show me, I breathed, not knowing if I addressed the pond, the flickers, or even the spirit of the grove itself. Guide me through the shadows. In reply, a strange warmth radiated from the water, and the surface became alive with movement. The orbs glided across the pond, illuminating symbols that emerged in luminous letters from the depths below. They formed words, visions and insights that felt hauntingly familiar yet utterly foreign. Clarity washed over me, interspersed with heartfelt emotions, love, fear, regret, courage. Each word was a pulse of ancient knowledge, a forgotten piece of my own melody that demanded to be played anew. Except one shimmering word danced above the rest, expanding like a beacon. The letters rearranged themselves, spelling out transform. This stirring invocation pierced through my doubt, and I shivered as if the echo of these truths resonated within the very marrow of my being. What did acceptance truly mean for me? How could I transform untold narratives anchoring my soul? Images of my past flitted in and out, where I had often cast aside crucial elements of my story. The fear of judgment, the need for approval, they had stifled my voice, extinguished my radiant flame. But as I sat there, allowing acceptance to wash over me, I felt the flickering presence nudging me toward a realization. Embracing my entire story could unlock the door to my potential. With every revelation, a deeper sense of bravery bloomed within me. I recalled moments when I had silenced my thoughts, stifled my creativity, and quelled my intuition in service of fitting in or seeking approval. I let the tears flow, merging regret with release as I envisioned the tapestry glittering in renewed color, the red of unspoken anger, the blue of self-acknowledged, and the radiant gold of joy that burst forth in celebration. As I emerged from this lucid interaction with the water, I felt the power of possibility surge around me. The flickers twinkled brighter, inviting me to dance along the edge of intention. Would I dare to honor my story, darkness and awe? To embrace those flickering remnants as signposts guiding my evolution. My heart beat a rhythm of anticipation as the utterance lingered. How might acceptance reshape the power dynamics within my soul? What worlds could unfold if I allowed my dreams to converge with the hard-earned lessons of my past? As I moved away from the shimmering pond, the night's chill settled around me like an old friend, yet a warmth beckoned within. The grove whispered untold tales, each tree a guardian of wisdom, a sanctuary for the seekers who traversed its depths. Tonight, seated in the quiet cacophony of nature's embrace, I grasped something new. Every shadow I had previously feared was a light turned inward, guiding me onwards. And in the heart of my journey, with the flickering light striving by my side, I asked myself, to what extent could transforming acceptance illuminate the landscapes of my unyielding spirit, revealing unsung strengths that lay dormant? My heart fluttered with the weight of the question, knowing I was only beginning to unravel the precious complexities of this sacred dance. As the moon continued its celestial arc, I found myself drawn deeper into the grove, guided by the delicate chorus of night creatures and the distant call of an owl. Shadows quivered beneath the trees, their graceful forms swaying like dancers in an eternal masquerade. The energy around me felt alive with whisper suggestions wrapped in the rustling foliage, echoing the pulse of the universe itself. In this sacred space, the earlier revelations still echoed within me: acceptance, transformation, the power dynamics of my soul. With each step, I sought to understand more about this intricate web woven through my experiences. The flickering lights continued to hover, nudging me forward, inviting me to explore the unknown stretches of my psyche. What other truths might unravel if I followed their glow? Soon, I came upon a clearing, larger than the others, where the moonlight poured down like liquid silver, pooling gently on the grass. In the center stood an ancient stone altar, weathered yet vibrant, carved with glyphs and symbols that seemed to shimmer in the moonlight. The stones, kissed by time, whispered of rituals long forgotten, of seekers who had stood where I now stood, yearning for insight and connection. My heart quickened at the thought, could this be a place of revelation? As I approached the altar, I felt a deep resonance within me, as if the stones recognized my spirit's thirst for discovery. I placed my hands upon the cool surface, closing my eyes and allowing the energy to flow through me. A rush of memories erupted, moments of courage and fear, triumph and despair, all intertwined in the tapestry of my existence. These collective experiences filled me, each one a thread that contributed to who I had become. Listen, a voice breathed through the stillness, a voice that reverberated from the depths of my imagination yet felt oddly familiar. I turned inward, sensing a presence guiding me to reflect. Perhaps the altar was a doorway, through which I could channel my deepest truths. What secret did it hold that could illuminate my path forward? I steadied my breath and intoned softly, what is it I must know to unlock the potential within me? The air thickened with anticipation, the world around me standing still in reverence to my question. Slowly, the symbols etched in the stone glowed, pulsating in rhythm with my heartbeat. I watched in awe as new images cascaded before my mind's eye, visions of resilience reflected in everything from thriving plants that emerged after stormy seasons to the tenacious journey of rivers carving their paths through ancient mountains. Each image was a testament to the life force that perseveres, a reminder that transformation often blooms from struggle. The voice returned, gentle yet insistent, strength resides in your willingness to embrace cycles, the ebb and flow, the rise and fall, the merging of light and dark. A deep sense of recognition paid a visit, I realized that these cycles were not only natural but necessary for growth and evolution. Can I truly embrace this dance? I mused aloud, grappling with the notion of surrendering to the flow of life, of trusting the unfolding of my narrative despite uncertainty. The lights flickered, dancing more vibrantly, as if echoing my doubts and whispering reassurance at the same time. Every cycle defines you, the voice continued, resonating once more within the confines of my heart. Embrace your shadows, for they guide your light. In each return to darkness, there's a wellspring of wisdom and invitation to understand, to transform. A wave of understanding washed over me. I had often viewed my shadows as burdens, but perhaps they were the very keys that could unlock deeper facets of my being. With every chapter of my life that I had wished to erase, what if I instead cherished those experiences, honored their lessons, and acknowledged the strength they forged within me? As I stood before the altar, still connected to its energy, a vision unfolded of unyielding roots entwined underground, hidden yet powerful. Each struggle I had faced fused with resilience, forming a foundation upon which I could stand taller, more grounded and capable. I took a deep breath, my heart expanding with gratitude for all that had shaped me thus far. I realized I was no longer just a seeker floundering in the darkness. I was a participant in a grand cycle of growth, a bridge between what was and what could be. When I opened my eyes, the grove around me held a new vibrancy, as if nature itself acknowledged my transformation. Yet in that moment of clarity, another question arose: how could I actively invite this cyclical wisdom into my everyday life, honoring both my victories and struggles, and learning from the lessons they bore? The flickering lights danced with renewed fervor around me, and as my pose aligned with the rhythms of the grove, I absorbed the depth of this inquiry. The journey was far from over. The dance of acceptance, transformation, and understanding had merely begun, and I felt the ever-elusive threads of knowledge calling me forth into the depths of my ongoing story. As the moon hung like a sentinel in the sky, I lingered in the vibrancy of the grove, breathing in the revelation of my connection to the cycles of life. Each flicker of light around me felt like a pulse from the soul of the world, urging me onward, compelling me to dive deeper into the lessons waiting to be unveiled. What further truths awaited? The thought ignited a compelling curiosity within me. Drawing away from the altar, I allowed my senses to fully awaken. A soft breeze swept through the trees, carrying with it an ethereal fragrance that hinted at more than just earth and leaves. The whispers of the grove grew louder, a cacophony of voices threaded together in harmony, each one beckoning me to follow the winding path that lay before me. Overhead, the stars flickered like distant lanterns, lighting my way through the velvet darkness. I ventured deeper into the forest, guided by the thriving symphony of life that surrounded me. The shadows whispered secrets of growth hidden beneath the visible world, and I felt a resonance echo within my own being. It was as if the very essence of nature conspired to reveal something fundamental about the essence of my soul. After a time, I stumbled upon a small pond, its surface mirroring a canvas of shimmering stars above. The water was still, serene. Kneeling beside it, I gazed into the depths, noting how the reflections danced upon the surface, distorting yet beautifully transforming the image of the world. I felt compelled to dip my fingers into the cool water, sending ripples that fractured the reflection into a myriad of shapes. In this moment, I understood that sometimes clarity lies in the distortion of our perceptions. Just as the water transformed the stars into their own unique patterns, perhaps my struggles and fears were distorting the way I perceived my own power. What if my shadows could, in fact, illuminate the path to my truer self? Are you willing to see the world through multiple reflections? The voice from before emerged once again, this time rich like the timeless water, flowing gently into the folds of my awareness. Every ripple carries a truth, every distortion hides a lesson. What have you learned from your own mirage? I pondered this question, tracing my fingers through the cool water as fleeting memories surfaced, missteps and regrets, moments where I had felt overshadowed by doubt, echoing with self-judgment. They rushed forth like the very currents of the pond, each one revealing facets of fear, growth, and resilience. It was in those mirrors that the real revelation lay. Freedom lies in embracing all that you are, the voice continued. Kick against the surface of denial, and you will find your true reflection raw yet beautiful, powerful yet vulnerable. Transformation comes not from shunning the darkness but learning to navigate through it. As I absorbed this wisdom, another realization blossomed within me. Embracing my whole self meant becoming a steward of my narrative, taking ownership of every part of my journey and inviting exploration even into the most shadowed corners of my psyche. I considered the power dynamics I had previously felt manipulated by, both externally and internally. How could I reclaim my narrative, spinning it into a tapestry woven with agency and intention? A vibrant illumination surged around me, as if the grove responded to my internal exploration. The water rippled anew, and I saw visions of a phoenix rising from ashes, of a sapling bursting through the earth after a tempest, each representing the beauty of resilience, the transformation wrought by enduring hardship. How do I summon the courage to rise from my own ashes, to nurture new beginnings amidst the remnants of my past? My question hung in the night air, heavy with longing and possibility. The pond shimmered, reflecting the depth of the questions asked and the untapped potential hidden within me. The stillness settled like a blanket, wrapping me in both comfort and challenge. Here, I stood at a crossroads, a juncture where the decisions of my past met the power of my present, and the unfolding of my future awaited. In that sacred space, I felt a dialogue blooming. What hidden strategies lay dormant in the crevices of my soul, waiting to be brought to light? What wisdom did I still need to unlock in order to engage fully with the ebb and flow of life's currents? As I straightened, taking in the glowing tapestry of the grove, I walked back to the path, invigorated yet contemplative. I had embarked on an exploration that would require me to navigate the shadows with both courage and curiosity. The journey was rich with the promise of revelation, yet the need for new understanding lingered in the depths of my spirit. Determined, I asked once more into the spaciousness of the night, what lies ahead for me if I trust this unfolding, if I showcase my true reflections with love? And with a heart full of questions, I let the flickering lights guide me deeper still, recognizing that the journey toward understanding was just beginning. The path before me twisted like the currents of the river I had often found solace in, as if beckoning to explore not just the physical terrain but the intricate landscapes of the soul. I walked on, the earth soft beneath my feet, feeling the heartbeat of the world marry with my own pulse. Each step ignited a spark of awareness, weaving together the essence of my surroundings and the intricate dance within me. Drawing closer to an ancient oak, its gnarled branches stretched out like wise arms embracing the sky, I felt a compelling urge to pause. The tree stood resolute, a testament to the struggles it had weathered, decades of storms, droughts, and seasons of lush abundance. Above me, the rich canopy filtered starlight, the air heavy with wisdom whispered through the rustling leaves. Perhaps I could find in this elder a source of revelation. Tell me, I murmured, placing my palm against the rough, warm bark, what strategies have you harnessed to face the adversities of life? How have you grown from your trials? In that moment, a gentle breeze swirled around me, carrying an echo that felt timeless. It is not in avoidance that strength is fostered, but in surrendering to the winds of change, it seemed to say. A deep resonance rippled through me, as I contemplated how my own resistance had often led to stagnation, while acceptance allowed for transformation and growth. As I contemplated these words, the ground beneath my feet trembled slightly, an affirmation of the vitality present not merely in the majestic oak but within the entire ecosystem surrounding me. I noticed clusters of mushrooms sprouting at the base of the tree, each one seemingly fragile yet vibrant, thriving amidst decay. I knelt to examine them, recognizing they were triumphs born from the remnants of the fallen, nature's alchemy in action. What secrets do you harbor? I asked the mushrooms, enchanted by their unity in a choir of color. They seemed to respond with a quiet strength, illustrating the power of rebirth out of loss. I realized that just as their mycelial network allowed them to share resources, I too could gather my experiences and insights to empower not just myself, but also those around me. Rising from my contemplation, a flicker of movement caught my attention. A pair of fireflies danced just a few feet away, their lights shimmering like tiny stars taking flight. I followed them, allowing their luminance to guide me deeper into the grove. It felt symbolic, a reminder that illumination often comes when least expected, making intricate patterns in the darkness. The path led me to a clearing where a stone altar sat shrouded in vines, barely visible under the moon's glow. My heart quickened as I approached. This felt like a threshold, a significant interlude in my journey. I could sense potent energy swirling around me, the altar seemingly bearing witness to countless gatherings, rituals, and the profound stories shared within this sacred space. Kneeling, I laid my hands upon the weathered surface and closed my eyes, breathing in the atmosphere imbued with hope and intention. What must I unearth to transform the power dynamics that threaten my true self? I whispered, the stillness of the grove cocooning my vulnerability. In response, visions ignited in my mind, impressions of fires blazing and seeds being sown, the elemental dance of destruction and creation coalescing into a symphony of life. I began to see the threads of my own experiences weaving into the fabric of the world around me. Every encounter was a stitch, every hardship a knot, creating a tapestry rich with insights and potential. Remember, the voice of the grove chimed softly. The journey is not a solo expedition but a shared experience. This clarity struck me, a revelation echoing deep. I had sought to understand my narrative independently when perhaps it required communal resonance to gain full depth. As I rose from the altar, my head filled with reflections, I pondered the nature of connections. Could vulnerability spark empowerment in those I encounter? Was it perhaps not enough to simply understand my own journey but also to invite others to share theirs, to partake in a collective healing? With each question that surged within me, the night seemed to absorb my uncertainty, a canvas splattered with colors of contemplation yet devoid of definitive answers. The pathway ahead opened, whispering of possibilities yet veiled in mystery. I felt an urge to wander forth into the heart of the grove, my spirit charged with the promise of discovery. What further wisdom did the night wish to impart? What unspoken truths lay awaiting my discovery among the trees? With steely resolve intertwined with gentle curiosity, I pressed onward, embracing the infinite reflections of my truths, preparing to unfold my narrative with love, not just for myself, but for the collective journey of all souls intertwined. The night deepened, wrapping me in its velvety embrace as I ventured into the heart of the grove. The shadows seemed to sway and shift, allowing only glimpses of the vibrant life that thrived around me. Each rustle of leaves spoke secrets, stories waiting to be uncovered. The air felt rich with potential, urging me onward, toward a new horizon that pulsed with something greater than myself. As I wandered, I noticed a faint glow pulsating in the distance. My instincts compelled me to follow, the beckoning light dancing like a beacon. It drew me forward, and soon I stood before another unexpected sight, a circle of stones, arranged meticulously in a spiral, with tendrils of luminescent moss draping over them like an ethereal veil. The luminescence held an invitation, and I felt pulled into its energy, as if it were a cosmic call. Kneeling at the entrance of the spiral, I hesitated, sensing the weight of the sacredness that surrounded me. What lay within this sultry embrace of the earth? Was I ready to confront whatever revelations awaited me? Taking a deep breath, I stepped into the spiral, each footfall resonating harmoniously against the stones, echoing my internal rhythm. As I moved deeper, I felt an exhilarating mix of trepidation and curiosity awakening within me. The air thickened, swirling around my form as I reached the center. The luminous moss seemed to pulsate in time with my heartbeat, creating a sanctuary of energy and introspection. Here, the world felt both infinitely expansive and profoundly intimate, and I sensed that this was a moment of communion. Closing my eyes, I drew a deep breath and listened intently to the organic murmur of the universe. Visions flooded my mind, images weaving in and out of sight, fractals of moments from my past intertwining with fragments of the lives of others. I saw families gathered around tables, friends embracing after long separation, lovers clasping hands as they faced an uncertain fate. All these connections echoed a longing for understanding, unity, and shared journeys. Transformation begins here, a voice whispered from the depths of my conscience. It is in acknowledging the interconnectedness of every soul that you allow yourself to weave the true tapestry of life. The realization struck me like a sunbeam breaking through a canopy, illuminating truths I had only ever touched upon. My journey was not a search for individual enlightenment, but rather a call to amplify the voices around me. As if in response, the stones beneath me trembled slightly, resonating with the shift in my awareness. I opened my eyes to find the faint glow intensifying, revealing thousands of tiny, glowing insects swirling together to create an intricate pattern above me, a living testament to the beauty found in collective synergy. Their dance was a reminder of how even the smallest contributions could illuminate the greater whole. In that moment, I felt the weight of my journey and burdens shifting. It was no longer just about personal trials, but rather about how these experiences could serve as stepping stones for others. The notion of power dynamics transformed now. It was not a unilateral exertion of control, but a responsive relationship fostering strength and clarity among us all. Yet, as I pondered this new understanding, a question lingered. In my eagerness to share the light I had on earth, how could I ensure that the narratives of others did not fade into shadows of obscurity? How could I cultivate an environment where vulnerability and strength coexisted, forming a bridge to deeper collective healing? With the spiraling energy swirling above me, I understood that the journey was beginning, and one invitation to delve into the fabric of humanity itself, gathering stories like stardust scattered across the night sky. I stepped back from the spiral, feeling invigorated and alive with purpose. As I exited the circle and returned to the path, I felt the resonance of the grove pulsating beneath my feet, cradling me in support, while the fading glow of the insects remained etched in my mind, a constant reminder of the luminous connections binding us all. A smile crossed my lips, infused with the thrill of unanswerable questions that now dance freely amongst the trees. What stories must I seek out, and what new connections are waiting to be forged? How can I be a catalyst for those around me? I ventured forth into the night, my spirit buoyed by a curiosity that felt boundless, ready to uncover the next layers of this intricate journey. The night air was thick with anticipation as I continued my journey deeper into the embrace of the grove. The flickering lights that had guided me thus far shimmered with an urgency that resonated within me. Each step became a dance of discovery, a reverent homage to the path I had traversed so far. It was here, within the soft rustling of leaves and the chirping of crickets, that I was beginning to grasp the immense tapestry of interconnectedness whose threads I could now see, glinting in the moonlight. As I walked, a gentle breeze carried a familiar scent, something like the earthy aroma after a rainstorm. It wrapped around me like an embrace, inviting me to pause and reflect on the essence of my journey. I settled on a moss-covered rock, allowing the energy of the grove to sink into my being. My heart pulsed in synchronization with the whisper of the wind, echoing the union of all that was and all that could be. In the stillness, I closed my eyes and let my thoughts settle. Images of the memories I had on earth flitted through my mind, the fears confronted, the shadows embraced, and the flames of resilience ignited within me. Each reflection took on a new hue, illuminating my understanding of the cycles of life, every challenge a necessary dance with darkness, every joy a celebration of light. And yet, amid my introspection, a profound question lingered: what lies beyond this awakening? As I allowed myself to be enveloped by the warmth of genuine inquiry, I felt a stirring within. It ignited a desire to step beyond the confines of my individual experience, to weave my light into the community around me, a feeling that this moment was poised for something grander. As if sensing my thoughts, the grove responded. From the depths of the earth, a resonating pulse throbbed, each ripple vibrating in alignment with my own heartbeat. With newfound resolve, I rose from the stone, feeling the whisper of the grove urging me further. I was ready not only to embrace the flickering lights of my inner truth but to illuminate the paths of others, guiding them towards their own awakenings. I continued along the winding path, a renewed sense of purpose surging like electricity through me. The invitation of interconnectedness was now clear. I was meant to serve as a vessel for understanding and transformation, sharing the gifts I had received with those who wandered the shadows. The flickering lights danced around me, encouraging this commitment to transform from seeker to messenger. Eventually, I emerged into a clearing, where the moon hung overhead, luminous and full. It cast silvery beams upon a gathering space nestled amongst the trees, a natural amphitheater where the spirits of seekers were imprinted across the ages. The earth felt alive beneath my feet, not just as soil, but as a sacred ground where connection, growth, and community blossomed. With a deep breath, I stepped forward into the center of the clearing. The shadows of previous doubt ebbed away, replaced by the brightness of conviction. I could feel the warmth of the universe gathering around me, echoing the intentions I held close to my heart. I began to speak, my voice quivering as I called out to the truths that had come alive within me. Listen, dear friends, unseen yet present. Each of us is a flicker, a spark, carrying the light of our experiences intertwined in a vast tapestry of humanity. Do not shy away from your shadows, they are your teachers, guiding you home to your wholeness. Together, we can illuminate the darkness, stirring the embers of potential in one another. Let us rise, not as solitary flames, but as a radiant collective, each of us igniting the hearts of those around you. As my words resonated, I felt a shift and awakening. The energy surrounding the grove pulsed with new fervor, responding to the call for connection, for shared stories. A flicker ignited in the hearts of those present, souls drawn together by a thread of shared vulnerability, intertwined like the roots of old trees, each lifting one another toward the light. In that moment, we became a living testament to the power dynamics of the soul, not a competition for validation but a celebration of each unique journey, woven into one beautiful fabric. I realized then that spirituality was not merely a personal endeavor, it was a universal calling beckoning to connect, to support, and to nurture one another. As I stood in that sacred circle, I felt a wave of recognition wash over me, understanding that true transformation arises from embracing our collective wisdom. Shadows can be illuminated, dreams can flourish, and together we can shape a radiant future that honors the stories we carry. The grove pulsed with life, the flickering lights merging in harmony, setting off a symphony of possibilities in the air. With this revelation settling in my heart, I absorbed the scene before me, gentle sway of branches, the twinkling starlit sky, and the ever-present heartbeat of the earth encouraging me onward. My journey had come full circle, revealing not only my hidden strengths but the deep impact of shared experiences. As the moon cast its ethereal glow upon us, I concluded, may we always remember that the flickers of our souls connect us all, light by light, heart by heart. And in the embrace of our truth, may we illuminate the world, guiding future seekers along their own paths. In that final declaration, I felt the essence of the universe coursed through me, a blend of understanding, compassion, and unity. The flickering lights had transformed into constellations, illuminating the night sky, challenges now reframed as opportunities for growth and connection. The grove held silence as a tapestry of hope unfolded around me, and I realized the ultimate truth that the most profound journeys are those shared, each of us interwoven through our narratives, lighting the way for one another in this sacred dance of life. And upon that note, I took a deep breath, ready for the endless possibilities that awaited, each one reflecting the flicker of my soul.